You know one thing about Kansas?
What?
There's 3 things. Sunflowers, sunshine, and sons of
So myself and Greg's here too. We're sitting under, this is Preston by the way, full-time cowboy, ranch hand and pickup driver, pickup guy.
Pickup man.
Pickup man. We're sitting under his trailer because, believe it or not, it's actually raining in Texas. So
Kansas, we're in Kansas.
Oh, Kansas, sorry,
Yeah,
I forgot
we're in
about
Kansas
Kansas,
now.
sorry. Hope you enjoy the video. It could be wet on the lens, but it is what it is. Just watch the video.
We're rodeoing.
We're rodeoing. Right, so it's safe enough for me to go in here. They're not going to kill me.
No, you're good.
Now, don't get me wrong, I might act a cowboy, but I'm definitely not a cowboy.
You can do whatever the hell you want. No, you're groovy.
No,
they're all good. They're all they're just good old set of using horses, you know.
Right, so what is a using horse?
We before I ever take one to town, I use them on the ranch. Doctor yearlings, sort cows, drag calves, you know, we do it all. This horse right here, this is old Mark and Annette's pride and joy. He run at the Rainbow Futurity. He won about 600,000 on the racetrack, and I worked for Mark out in New Mexico when I was in college, worked for him on his ranch, and he called me one day and said he wanted to give me a racehorse, and I rode a lot of bad ones, but he told me he was a good one, and so here we are. This is MM4 in the morning.
So racehorse converted to rodeo horse?
Rodeo ranch horse. You got one that wants to go all day, and I promise you can't get on a horse that'll get you faster to a yearling than this silver right here. I'm gonna go tie him up.
So what is the plan of attack for this evening then, Preston?
Well, we're gonna buck a handful of barebacks to start with. I think 5 or 6 bears in the rig and riding, and there's 3 pickup men, so we'll just ride one horse in that one, and then we'll do a set of saddle broncs, and there's 12 in it. We'll buck 12 broncs, and we'll ride one horse to start with, and then we'll switch to a second one, get a fresh horse. So picking up, you're the unsung hero, but you got to be mounted real good just for take care of the horses and the contestant, and you don't want to have a tired one. You don't want their legs to give out or anything like that. So this old black here, he's an older gelding that's been rode on the ranch, but he's 17 years old. He's a big black gelding that ain't got a bump on him. He'll probably go for 5 more years. Right people get a hold of him, he'll live till he's 35. All he wants to do is eat and ride around.
So then what is your actual role tonight, Preston? Because you're not actually competing, what is your job?
I get paid by the committee or the stock contractor. We sort the horses and the calves, take care of all the rodeo, and then during the rodeo, when the buzzer goes off, take the horse to the out gate safe where everybody, they can keep on going on with rodeo.
So you're basically a health and safety manager then?
Well, that'd be a good way to put it. But a man told me one time, Paul Peterson, he's one of my heroes. He's picked up the NFR, and he told me the best pickup man in the world will never be recognized because you do such a good job that nobody even knows you're there. So you want to just go in there and get your job done, get your horses and bulls out, and just keep the rodeo going, and that's what we try to do.
So did you never think about competing on rodeos?
I did. I got on a few broncs back in the day, long time ago, about 80 pounds ago. I tried to ride some broncs, and I enjoy it, and I don't know another way of life besides doctoring yearlings and ranching and rodeoing. That's about all I've ever done. This here, he's an old gelding of the people I work for there in Groover. The grandkids ride this one at the play days. That's why he's about half rude half the time. But you can put your grandma, in-law, or your kids on him and he'll do it all. Whatever you want to do. He's a good horse.
Yeah, you still use him to like round up bulls?
Yep, yeah, I'll drag bulls on this one. You can pick up on him. I picked up a bunch on him, but when you rope and tie to something, you're gonna get it going somewhere. He's a big old stout, good gelding. I've tripped some steers on him, and you can put a queen on him. You can put your kids, and I put my mother-in-law on him just because I like her. But if you didn't like your mother-in-law, I got another one for you.
So what sort of relationship do you have with your horses then? Because a common misconception could be that cowboys are soring their animals.
Yeah, I've never been able to make one do something that they weren't willing to do. They've been good to me. I feel like I take pretty good care of them, but you're only as good as what you're under, in my opinion. If you're under a horse that you can't get much done on, you're not going to be much help out in the arena. So I try to take good care of my horses because I know what they mean to me, and I mean, I take probably better care of them than I do myself because they mean a lot to me, and I know they're worth way more money than I am. So I try to take good care of them just because they're not a ranch or an impact. You know, they're not a tool. They're family members, and you use them for a reason, but they're as good as they come. I mean, they're just as human as I am, and sure nice to ride a good one because I've rode some bad ones, and it's a lot easier when they're good.
What's the worst injury you ever had on a horse or a bull?
I broke my collarbone in 3 spots, shattered my ankle, broke a bunch of ribs, been knocked out 4 or 5 times, but nothing terrible, no life-threatening. So that just kind of comes with the job. Could be worse. Could have to work at all subs, but I've done that too. So.
Right. So these horses here that you're tying up, these are your tame horses. Tell us a bit about these horses in this other pen here.
Those right there, that's a 25. We call him Teepee Creeper. These are all Alan McCloy horses that he's raised, and they're bucking horses, and they're just as much family as these ones I'm catching. They get taken care of probably better than my riding horses, but they get grained every morning and fed, and a lot of people think they're neglected and tortured, but you look at them 4 right there, look at that old gray mare, she's got to be 16 years old now. You can't tell me that horse is neglected. She looks good, she's an older mare, and she loves her job. I mean, that's all it comes down to.
But these bucking horses are actual wild animals. Like these are loose. Oh, yeah. These are loose on the plains, and you just gather them up for this.
They breed them to buck, and we get them up. We wean them off their mama, and we dummy buck them when they're colts, and so they know. Just like a riding horse, you want them to have feels, so we put a dummy on them when they're little, so they know where their feet are when they're bucking, and they're better in the chute. So when they do get to that 4 or 5 year old age where we do put a rider on them, they know that they need to keep their feet under them so they stay safe and the riders stay safe. And it's just another deal of rodeo, but people take the wrong mindset and believe, or I don't know why they put things in their head that we're torturing these horses, but you can't make a horse buck. That mare right there, she's a 5-year-old, and you can dang near walk out there with a handful of grain and she'll come up to you. But when you load her in that bucking chute, she knows her job, and she's gonna go out there and turn out and be.
She's a different animal.
Yep, because that's what they're bred to do. You know, it's just like a cutting horse or a barrel horse or a race horse. They're bred to do what they do, and we take care of them. If a horse is taken care of good, they're gonna do their job, in my opinion, and I don't think there's any way around that. No matter how bad them people want to misconcept that people in the ranching, farming, and rodeo business abuse animals, if you come around and see what we have going, you can tell that there is absolutely no abuse at all.
Do you see these sort of sleeves you have on these horses here? What are they about? Because they're not exactly just the common U-shaped horseshoe there.
Yeah, them rubber boots, they're for protection. I like the rubber ones because I can put them on there and leave them while I'm at a rodeo for 4 or 5 days. And then when I go home, I jerk them all off, hang them up in my tack room. When I go to another one, I stick them back on. It's personal preference, but they're thick, good rubber, and they're gonna keep a horse when they're trying and running hard. If they do overreach, it's gonna get a hold of that rubber and not their hoof.
Okay.
it's not gonna swarm up. And I put splint boots and back boots on mine that I ride in the bronc riding, like we were talking about earlier, because those, if I don't have a good set of horses, I don't have a job. So that's what it comes down to.
So it's like an ankle support kind of?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. These two, they're a little wilder, but there ain't two better bay horses in the world than that one. That front one over there, he come from a man in South Dakota named Bill Myers. He's a legendary barrel horse breeder. He's sold many horses for a lot of money in the barrel horse industry. But old Sperm Bill, he raises good horses, what it comes down to. And those two, you can look at them and look at the shape. They're old school. They got good withers on them. They got a big hip. They can move. And that's, when you do what I do, picking up, doctoring yearlings, roping, that's what you want to have a horse. You want to have them shapy, and if they're a little watchy, that's all right. Because I'd rather one be paying attention to everything around him than be a dud and trip and fall down.
Yes.
You know. Whoa. 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 Easy. There are a couple of them horses that if you didn't like your mother-in-law, you might put them
she's
on
going
these
straight
too.
on them.
But they'll give you they're broke good geldings, and they'll give you their life. I mean, they're good ranch horses, good rope horses. When I saddle one up, I hope he'll give me as much as I can give them, because sometimes it ain't all glamorous. Easy, brother. Whoa. One of the reasons I got him is he's kind of spicky to the left, but he's got a little spot on his eye. He got a rock when he was a colt. So that's why he kind of wants to face up. And he's a little always snorty on his left side to catch him. No fault to himself, but just natural. And I'll show you this spot in his eye. You can see it. It's just a little glassy spot, but he sees shadows right there.
Oh yeah.
He's got that little glassy spot, and that's why he's a little jumpy to his left, but he's one of my best horses. If you want to ride 50 miles and go catch wild cattle, this is probably the one you should saddle on.
He just sort of has that wee white
Yep.
speck on his eye.
That white speck, and it makes him just see a little bit of a shadow.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why when he faces up, he always wants to turn around.
Yes.
And horses don't wear glasses, so you have to appreciate that. You know, they want to pay attention, but...
Do you ever get days where the horse just doesn't want to perform? You know, like sometimes you go out to your truck or something and it just won't start. Do you get that horses have an off day as well?
Not really. I don't ever try to put them in a situation where they can't perform to their best ability. I ride a lot of young horses at the house. I won't take them and put them in a situation where they feel behind or not be able to perform.
Yeah.
I put them in a position where they can flourish every time, and I'm not gonna give them more of a task, especially at a rodeo when it's my job to take care of the horse and the cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna put my horse or myself in a position where I can't help someone in a bad situation.
Okay.
And I set my horses up for success, is what I try to do. A lot of them older guys, they rode a lot of broncs, and they, you know, you can go back in time and look at Paul Peterson and Billy Ward and Chuck Holloway, and them guys, if there was a bucking horse that didn't buck, they might pick up the next perf. The horse flesh back then wasn't as what it is now, and them guys are cowboys. No doubt about it. I'm blessed enough to have enough good horse flesh. I try to set my horses up for success. And them guys back in them days, they were doing the same thing. They were just doing it on another level. They weren't gonna put themselves in a bind or the rider in a bind. They were just so much more handier and could do, them guys are cowboys. It is a different time and it's a new age. They're a generation it's coming to an end that was totally different of the the pickup man coming now. Now everybody rides good horses, tries to be on top of their game because that's what you have to do. The horse, it's just like the bucking horses. It's evolving. The horses buck harder. The guys, you look at the top 40 bronc riders in the world, those top 40 guys draw the right horses throughout the year. All 40 of them can make the top 15 and be at the NFR in December.
Yeah.
Same with the bucking horses. Same. The pickup man nowadays, they Tyler Craft, TJ Bolander, Too Tall Calhoun, all them guys, they ride good horses, and you can't beat them. They're the best in the business, and that's what I try to do. I'm on a lower scale. I'm a weekend warrior, but I have a job to do when I ride in the arena, and I try to do that, and I try to set my horses up for success as well as myself.
Yeah. So how do you read a horse's mood, Preston? How do you know if a horse is angry, whether it's sad, whether it's happy? How can you read a horse?
You don't read a horse, they read you. My opinion. You can have a good relation, just like people. You know, that's my fiance, and I guarantee you all my horses would rather see her coming than me.
It's like she's prettier.
That's right. Prettier, and she takes care of them, but I mean, you can see them in their eye, and they talk about that horse whispering and all that, and I'm not 100% sold on it, but I know for a fact them horses they know their job. I mean, that sorrel right there, he's an award-winning racehorse, and I've rode horses off the track that were just as fast and just as good, probably not quite as good, but they were a little tougher to get around. But they're like people. They're smart. They know. They know the difference and everything, and they know what needs to be done. And they're like kids. They'll get a little hard up and push on you a little at times, but they're good. You can tell the good ones from the bad ones really quick.
What does it mean whenever a horse puts its ears straight back? Is that angry or is it cautious?
Depends on when it is. I've seen that sorrel pin his ears back. I picked up a stud one time, a bucking horse stud, and that stud pinned his ears back and reached over there and bit at him, and that horse pinned his ears back and reached over there and grabbed that stud by the cheek. And I mean, they know. Depends on where you're at. I ride horses all the time that pin their ears back, but they're pinning their ears back at the cow in front of them that I'm running down the rope. Yes, there is horses that pin their ears back in anger, but you have to talk them out and show them that there is a better way.
How do you define a successful rodeo?
First and foremost, my horses stay good. The bucking horses stay good. You can say whatever you want. You talk to different pickup men, they'll say everything else. My opinion, the bucking horse is first, my horse is second, and the rider is third. And that's the way I thought of it when I was getting on, because as a pickup man, I think my number one job is to take care of the bucking horse. Stock contractor's paying me to be there to take care of his horse. I take care of the rider. 90% of the riders know how to get over and get off, and they're not going to put themselves in a dangerous spot. 90% of them. Now there's some of them that will get in a bad way, and you have to ratio whether to pull out, stay with. I mean, there's a gray area. My opinion, I'm hired by a stock contractor. I take care of the horse, I take care of my horse, and I take care of the rider. Right or wrong, I've been a contestant. I've got a pile of buddies that are contestants, and them guys know 90% of them are ranch cowboys, and they know how to get off. They know how to take care of themselves. They know my job is to take care of the horse, to make the rodeo run fluid. It's not a timed event, but they want to run a rodeo off at a timely fashion so everybody can go with their beer stand.